Hi Cancer, welcome to a general tarot reading for the first week in February. It's Raina here. So, yeah, I'm kind of like in this in-between period, so I thought I would do this type of reading. I'm actually, I like doing different types of readings at the same time, different series, because it keeps things interesting for me. But I just thought, hey, I haven't done a weekly reading in a really long time, so why not? So I'm using, I just devised a 4-card spread that's pretty basic. And I thought that it was going to lead to a shorter reading. Boy, did I have a lot to learn about that one. Not with somebody like me. Okay, let me see. One nice thing about this is you can see all the cards when I do it like this. Something to think about. Oh my goodness, I got this for Aquarius. That was the last card for Aquarius too. Maybe this has something to do with the upcoming Mercury retrograde. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised because we're probably, I don't know if we're in the shadow period yet. I'm recording this a few days before the beginning of February. Yeah, so, you may find that things begin to happen even before the actual date of the Mercury retrograde. So this is the central theme here for the first week, which is the Two of Cups. This is a card of commitment, but it can also be the card of reuniting with somebody. And, with Cancer, commitment is a big deal. There are very few Cancer people that I can imagine wouldn't want a commitment, although they do exist. And sometimes I make these kind of blanket statements, and then people say, "Oh no," and then they just totally trash the sign and say, "Oh gosh, this type of person is the worst," and everything. So it's pretty hilarious how people have such, prejudices against certain signs, because they had a bad experience with one. If this is a committed relationship, we're going to look at the past influence, which is the King of Pentacles. This person if this is that individual, they may be an older earth sign, Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo, or somebody who owns a business, somebody who manages a bank, a stockbroker, something like that. This person, you may see them as an anchor in your life, a father for your child, if you already have children and they are not the biological father. It could be like a rock for you, a stability. And this could, the earth element for you is very good. I mean, it's very compatible. So congratulations if that is kind of what is going on for you. And yes, I mean, you have this, this North Node situation still in your sign. So this could be like a time in your life where a lot is happening. Your 7th house is activated with Capricorn, which is like immense, not just the eclipses, the South Node, but Pluto and Jupiter and Saturn. Oh my, all of that, kind of coming together like that. It's like, whoa. And so this probably is a theme for some people. Even, definitely if this is this could be like maybe you had a child together and finally he proposed and said, let's get married, and you were waiting for it and you already have a child. I always joke about, those people that they call their those women, they call their boyfriend, this is my fiance, and they have like 3 kids together. And it's like they're still afraid to get married, but they have 3 kids. I just can't, I can't wrap my brain around that because, you know, I know divorce might be expensive, but you can do it. You can't, you know, divorce your kids. So I think that's a bigger commitment, but that's just me. Yeah. So that person, I know this is really, really bad. Sometimes I have these things that I wonder if I have like a naughty spirit guide or something that keeps putting these ideas in my head. But I was thinking of like this person's making an honest woman of you, something like that, you know, which is, you know, totally sexist, but funny as hell. Let's face it. And but if this is somebody who is like if this is like a situation of whether or not you should reunite with someone, think about, you know, what happened to lead up to this particular the split, and figure out whether or not this is sincere, or if this person is trying to control the situation, if you've just gotten over them and now they are coming back into the picture. And this is a card that represents the energy surrounding the situation, the Knight of Swords, and that's very interesting because the Knight of Swords, I mean, this may be the actual, maybe that's the person that you're reuniting, and this is somebody else who's much more stable. Maybe that's the situation that's happening, and you have to decide. Whenever there's a two, it could be like some kind of a decision that you have to make too. So that's the other piece in that. And so the Knight of Swords person might be somebody who comes in and out of your life, and there's like an excitement with this person because they are unpredictable. And even though you are the adult in the room, Cancer, this type of person can kind of, I would say, like sweep you off your feet. Not that they're necessarily romantic. They're more brash. They have fire, but they also have an intellect that's very, you know, impressive, entertaining, you know, maybe wit, like a Gemini, or this is an air sign individual, but they might have mixed in with Aries, like fire type of, or Sagittarius, or Leo. And they may be very enticing to you in some way. You may have Venus in Leo or Mars in Leo, and this person, you find this person irresistible. The thing is that they may not be very stable, and with, if this is like, if these are two different people, the king is definitely more of an adult. They're very stable, they're very dependable. But depending on your personal background and the kind of expectations that you have for relationships, you may be not very, you may be the kind of person who tends to go after the one that is very elusive. You know, that does happen, and it's something that can create a lot of chaos around you, because you really do, at the end of the day, you want that type of peaceful and well-run household. You don't want to be raising a partner, like being an adult, and they're like your child, and you also want somebody that you can depend on. So perhaps you're being you're like kind of deliberating, but you know what is more logical. the advice is the Five of Pentacles. Look at where in your life you have a tendency to see the glass half empty and to see the lack, if you will. So you may crave excitement because you take for granted things that are people that are there for you, and that actually is a form of low self-esteem. You know, I think that this is more common than people realize, and they can't really wrap their brain around what exactly they're feeling. Like, they don't feel attracted to people who are attracted to them or who are devoted to them. They always feel the most attracted to the person who is elusive, who they try to call and they can't get an answer, than to the person who is calling them and caring about them. And so look at those, and also look at the attitude of, in general, if there's some kind of situation where you're debating whether or not to get back with somebody, are you just feeling the sense of like, I better do it because who knows if I'll get another chance? Are you coming from a perspective of lack? Because I'm going to tell you something. That King of Pentacles could be you. You may be doing very well financially, and perhaps this is somebody who is not doing well financially, and they kind of look for people to take care of them. And you are a sitting duck, an easy mark, because this is what you specialize in, Cancer. You love to take care of people. And that can easily lead to codependency. So if there is somebody that you are committing to, or that you're debating committing to, make sure that they're more like the King of Pentacles than the Five of Pentacles or the Knight of Swords. Unless the Knight of Swords is a writer, a teacher, an intellectual, a lawyer, and they're not exhibiting some of the more immature traits, which a knight has compared to a king. The outcome is the Hangman. So everything isn't going to be decided now. You may just decide that you're going to let things settle, that you're not going to make a decision, that, there might be some reason why you don't feel like you can make a decision. So, or you're just going to, it's kind of like you're going to rest on it. You're going to sleep on it. And I think that is really a good thing, because you may have a lot to think about, and perhaps you are, sometimes, you know what I say when I do personal readings, if somebody's choosing between two people and they really can't decide, I usually think neither one is the answer, because in my mind there's no question that people are not interchangeable. And if you really care for somebody, nobody else exists. I know there are exceptions to that. If you are the kind of person that wants multiple relationships at once, like polyamory, but I question whether that would be something the average Cancer person would get into. I would say absolutely not. But there are always outliers in this world, and if your sun is in Cancer and your moon is in Aquarius, perhaps you might be that outlier. Okay, that's what I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you'd like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.